Are you an overthinker? And if you are, you will know exactly what I mean by that. Every decision that has to be made, you go over and over and over in your mind, constantly second guessing yourself. You might rehash conversations or situations that have happened in the past, going over those. You might be rehearsing situations or events that are coming up in the future. Your mind just never stops. It has to look at every situation, every problem from every possible different angle. It causes you to be anxious, overwhelmed, preoccupied, distracted. It is really, really bad for you. Stay watching until the end. I've got 4 tips that I hope will help you to overcome this problem. And I've got a special bonus if you stay until the end of the video. I'm Dunn. I'm a clinical and coaching psychologist, a mindfulness meditation teacher, host of the Crappy to Happy podcast, and author of the Crappy to Happy books. And I am here every week with tools and tips and strategies to help you overcome the blocks that are getting in the way of you living your happiest and most fulfilling life. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of when I post a new video every single Tuesday. And leave me comments below if this video is helpful for you. Let's get straight into it. Your brain is designed to think. Like, that's what brains do. That's what our minds are for. And it's really useful to remember things and plan things and organize things and to interpret situations or make meaning and even to process your emotions. What's not helpful is if you get stuck and fixated on one issue or one situation and you go over and over and over it with no real progress towards any solution or outcome. No emotional processing, no decision making, no problem solving, just over and over and over thinking. The problem is that your mind will convince you that this is a useful thing that you're doing, that this is helpful, that this is somehow productive. If I just think about this a bit more, I know I'll get to the right answer. If I just, consider every other possible angle, or if I just think of every possible future case scenario, then I can plan for every possibility. If I go over that situation enough, I can try to make sense of it, or I'll finally have closure. If I consider this problem from like 25 different angles, then I'll know I'm absolutely making the right decision. Unfortunately, that's usually not the case. Usually all that you're doing is causing yourself to be preoccupied, distant, distracted, stressed out, anxious, and usually not moving any closer to a solution. So it's really important that we find ways to stop this. My first tip, if you're an overthinker, and this sounds really simplistic, I know, but it's just to be aware of when you are overthinking. This is why I love mindfulness, because most of us, and people tell me all the time that I can't help it, I have no control, like I'm just an overthinker, I'm just a worrier, this is just who I am. Here is news for you. You may have very strongly entrenched mental habits, but that does not make you who you are. They're just habits, just like any other habits, and they become reinforced over time. Just like any other habit, you can choose to break that habit, but you can't break any habit until you become aware of it and you catch yourself in the moment that it's happening. And this is why I'm such a fan of mindfulness, because mindfulness essentially is all about noticing what's happening as it's happening without judgment. So this is not about catching yourself overthinking and then beating yourself up for the overthinking. It's just, oh, there I go again. I can see that I have let myself go down this path and this is not helpful, this is not productive, this is not serving me, and I can choose to do something differently in this moment. It's only from a place of awareness that you can make a different choice. And I know many people who will tell me that it could be an hour, it could be 2 hours that they've been obsessing over this thing, and that time has just flown before they've even realized what they're doing. What you want to start doing is catching yourself a little earlier so that you can break that pattern and choose to think about something differently or do something differently. So let's just start with awareness. Once you become aware that you're overthinking, the next thing I suggest you do is stop. So you can use the thought stopping technique that I referred to back in our video on overcoming negative self-talk. That involves just like seeing a stop sign in your mind, seeing a hand come up, saying stop, just doing something to interrupt that pattern. Stop. For some people, having a physical reminder, like a rubber band around their wrist, that can be really helpful. You snap that and that little sting that it gives you helps to reinforce that that that's a pattern that you want to break. It's like a negative reinforcement that will help you to break that pattern. And then what I suggest you do is that rather than stay in your thinking mind, you actually take some action. So remember, clarity comes from action. It doesn't come from thinking. You might convince yourself that you need to think this through before you know what to do. I'm telling you that you actually need to do something to get that clarity, to know what is going to be the right thing. You use your actions to get that clarity. Let me give you some examples. If there's a decision to be made, decide. Choose an option, take a step, and you will soon know whether that's the right decision or it's not. If you're overthinking a conversation that you've had because you think that maybe you've upset somebody, contact that person and ask them. If there's no action to be taken, you are wasting your energy thinking about it. If there is an action that you can take that will give you the clarity, that will solve this issue, then take the action. Stop thinking and start doing. Stop kidding yourself that you need to keep on thinking this through. What you need to do is to actually do something. The third technique I want to share with you is one that I learned from our good mate, Eckhart Tolle, who wrote this best-selling book, The Power of Now. I've had this book, I don't know, I think maybe close to 20 years. And the first time I read it, it really didn't resonate with me. The next time I picked it up, it just made so much sense. And the thing that I took out of this book, The Power of Now, is that whatever it is that you're thinking about, stressing about, worrying about, it's not happening, usually it's not happening in this moment. Your mind is preoccupied with things that have happened in the past or things that might happen in the future. It's usually whatever it is that you're stressing about is not happening right now. Even if you're worried about not being able to pay your mortgage this month, the debt collector is not at the door right now. The bank is not on the phone right now saying that they're going to kick you out of your house. If you're concerned about something that's coming up in the future, it's not happening right now. Right now, if you hop out of your head and look around your life, in this moment, everything is actually fine. In this moment, right now, there actually isn't a problem. So if you can remind yourself of that, if you can pull yourself back, rein your mind back in from wherever it wants to be, reconnect back with this moment and remind yourself that whatever it is that I'm stressed about, whatever it is that I'm overthinking, ruminating about, it's not happening right now. Right now, everything is just fine. So you can take some deep breaths, and if you can keep yourself in the present moment, then usually everything will still be fine. Obviously, there will be situations where you feel anxious, when you're just about to walk on a stage, when you're having to have a difficult conversation. There will be times when you get the difficult phone call. So you can deal with that in that moment. Right now is not the time to be thinking about that. So come back to this moment as much as you can. And this again is part and parcel of what mindfulness is all about. It's about being present in this moment. And my fourth and final tip for you today is just to trust yourself, to actually back yourself. Because a lot of overthinking, if you think about the things you overthink about, they're usually fear-based thoughts, aren't they? It's a fear that I'll make the wrong decision. It's a fear that I did something silly or that I'm going to do something silly. It's a fear that I've made a fool of myself. It's a fear that I'll never get ahead in my job. It's a fear that life's passing me by. It's all fear. It's all fear. Whatever it is that you're overthinking and stressing about, it's usually fueled by a fear, by a lack of certainty, and by a lack of trust that things will actually just turn out perfectly well. It's a lack of trust in your own ability to cope with whatever happens. So if you can start learning to trust yourself, if you can start learning to back yourself, letting go of the need for certainty, letting go of the need for ironclad guarantees, because guess what? There are none in life. That you will never have an ironclad guarantee. This is why we just take the action, get the feedback, and then redirect if we need to, rather than trying to come up with a solution in our own mind. You have to trust that if you take the action and you go off course or it's not the right thing, you'll get that feedback and you'll pivot. You'll get that feedback and you'll correct it, you'll course correct. Something will happen, will be challenging, and you'll cope. You'll build the skills, you'll have the resilience because you've coped with things in the past and you'll cope with things in the future. So if you can just get out of that fear thinking and tap into some trust in yourself and some trust in your resources and your strength and your wisdom, and even tapping into your intuition, which you can't access when you're up here in thinking mind all the time, then that will go a long way to restoring your inner peace, a sense of calm, and actually take you closer to where you want to be. Thinking won't do it. You have to trust, act, deal with what is right in front of you in this moment. If this video has been helpful, please leave me a comment below. Tell me which strategy resonates with you the most or which one you'll try. I have summarized these tips into a PDF, which I have included as a download in the description below. You can download that. And as a bonus, I've included a 3-minute breathing space, which is perfect for helping you to come back into the present moment when you find yourself overthinking. 3 minutes is all it takes. I think you'll find it really, really useful. So grab the PDF and the 3-minute breathing space in the description below. I hope you will see me back here, same time next Tuesday, with more tips for how to feel less crappy and more happy. Bye.